wonderful marriage, beautiful wedding, beautiful birthday, beautiful Christmas to you all.
Were those the real lyrics, or were you just improvising?
It's close
the
enough.
feel?
It's
amazing.
It's pretty
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
I mean, Sondheim really has nothing on Babes in Toyland.
Absolutely.
No. Sondheim who?
Sondheim wishes he wrote CINCINNATI.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't know how to spell Cincinnati, so it was helpful in that regard.
I don't know. Yeah.
I didn't know there were 3 N's. I thought there were only 2.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to retain the song well enough to use it as a trick, but it's a good idea if I could learn the song. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
How often do you have to spell Cincinnati in your life? So sorry. Go ahead.
Welcome back to another episode of Showgays, the movie musical podcast where we dissect beloved
movie musicals.
Holiday
such
classics.
Such as, people love to, wait for Santa with their Christmas cookies and their milk, telling the story of Lisa and how she saved Toyland.
I mean, she is a real protagonist.
Yeah.
If there ever was one.
Yeah.
A person named Lisa. A child named Lisa.
Child who was named
like The Simpsons. The most famous Lisa I can think of is also
I
a child.
know, but there's something
about Lisa. It's like naming a child Kathy. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Kathy. You went for the comic strip. I went for Jason Robert Brown, but both good.
Kathy.
Or like Deborah. Like my 5-year-old Deborah.
Deborah's a great name,
but also like Little Debbie.
But because you can Debbie it. Yeah. I would be excited to meet a 5-year-old Deb. I would be happy for that name to make a comeback.
Yes. I think Eugenia is a name that needs to like make a comeback.
Wow, that's a deep pull. Yeah.
Yeah. Eugenie.
Jeannie
is cute.
Jeannie's a cute name.
Jeannie Mai.
Not these kids named Storm or Apple or
Tosh.
Yeah, there definitely has been the like reverse trend to some extent, though, too. I will say, as a person who is familiar with the names of many kids,
is there a current?
Definitely, it's not that the new names are like totally out of fashion, but there's definitely more old-fashioned sounding names.
Yes, but Molly, I think you're also prone because of your job to have your Leahs, your Rebeccas. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean, Adam. Could you
more than other people,
more than other establishments,
yeah.
more than your Gentile places of education.
Oh my god.
Actually, I'm gonna stand firm and say Rebecca is a very is never too modern but too old fashioned.
It's a good one.
It's a really good name.
Rebecca is
definitely
always in style.
Yeah.
Becca.
Bex.
Becky with the good hair.
Bex
is cool.
Bex is so cool.
Did we watch a movie for today, or do we want to just
we just want to chat?
Just kiki. Okay.
Catch up.
Let's just kiki.
Molly, this week you had to write a summary of the 1986 plot of Babes in Toyland because I will be going over the 1903 version in a few moments.
03? Not the 61? Okay.
No, the OG, the operetta.
Oh. Who knew we were going to get some operetta today? What a treat.
So in a minute or less, please summarize this plot, and your time does start right now.
The night of a blizzard in Cincinnati, our practical beyond her years 11-year-old protagonist Lisa runs to the Five and Dime to tell her older sister Mary that she needs to come home before the storm hits. Mary is sexually harassed by her boss Barney and then driven home by her heroic coworker Jack. Jack, Mary, Lisa, and another coworker George start to carpool home, but a patch of ice results in Lisa sliding out of the car and hitting a tree. Lisa is transported to Toyland, where all of the major characters mimic people in the real world, a la Wizard of Oz. Lisa saves Mary from a forced marriage to the evil Barnaby and meets the magical Toy Master. The crew then try to stop Barnaby from taking over all of Toyland with an army of trolls, but they're foiled till Lisa embraces the childlike belief in toys, which animates an army of toy soldiers and defeats Barnaby. Toy Master is revealed to be Santa Claus, and Lisa is transported back to the real world.
Wow. And you have 10 seconds left. Anything else you want to say?
And I think, anything you want to pepper in there?
There's a
Prologue.
Georgie is in there.
Georgie Porgy.
Trolog. The fucking eye creature.
Trollog.
Trolog is a
Yeah,
minion.
it's awful.
Around.
He's
Yeah.
awful.
He is a minion, one-eyed and everything.
One-eyed.
Wow.
I'm going to start this week because I actually have a relationship
You actually have a
to
relationship.
this musical.
You were a babe in Toyland.
Okay. I'm in this movie.
What? Yeah, you can't see his face because he's behind a.
Who was the one? Who was the one? Oh,
the frog. You were the frog that was like this. I mean, best ensemble award, honestly.
Easily, this is the best ensemble in any film we've ever watched. And I'm
so
kind
confused.
of not kidding.
Molly's like, wait, are we saying?
I'm kind of dead serious about it.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for you to explain to me why you
there's
think
no
that.
explanation needed.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
Great.
I think it's pretty clear if you watch
I think
the movie.
podcasts are always the best when people don't explain any of the things that they're thinking, because talking too much on a podcast is really, it's against the format. You know what I mean?
The goal for today's episode is to be a tight 45 minutes.
Wow. I bet we can do it.
Listen, I have no history to report. So, okay, my relationship to this musical, okay, not necessarily the movie. I do have to be clear. I was in the operetta in high school because famously it's in the public domain. So guess what? There is no licensing.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
I played the character Bobby Shafto. Are we all familiar with his famous nursery rhyme?
Bobby Shafto?
Don't worry, I wasn't
I'm sorry.
either.
I thought that was a rhetorical question. No, we're not.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
It's
not even the first one.
No.
Oh no, that's
Shafto nursery rhyme. Okay. The Bobby Shafto's nursery rhyme. Okay, here we go. This is an old British girlie. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea with silver buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me. Bonnie Bobby Shafto. Oh, so it's probably Scottish. Bobby Shafto's bright and fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's my love forevermore. Bonnie Bobby Shafto. That doesn't rhyme. But maybe it does with an accent.
Yeah, Scottish.
That was me. So I got to wear a little sailor outfit. I was very cute in freshman year of high school.
Wow.
When I weighed 89 pounds.
Yikes.
oh god.
So, and anyway, it was fun. Ampliverse co-creator Ari was also in it. She was in the ensemble. It was fun. Because it was freshman year, I had no expectations of getting a part at all. So it was like that very I was just so happy to be in that. And the show is colorful.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't have any strong feelings about it. I know all the songs from the original operetta, but just only because we did it. I don't think they're good, but
yeah,
it is what it is. And then I have seen the 1960, is it 61?
I believe so.
Nat Funicello version, the Disney version. I've seen that.
Okay.
Again, I actually don't have strong feelings about that either because I don't think it's great. I do think it's better than the shit we watched today. But that's not saying much. So that's my relationship to Babes in Toyland. I think it's so funny that for some reason the toy soldiers have that is the mainstay thing of this piece of media.
Every adaptation really leans into the toy soldiers.
They all use the song, the march of the toy soldiers. Yeah. It's great.
It's a banger. That's why.
It slaps. We love Little Drummer Boy and we love Little Toy Soldiers. The march.
Pum-pum-pum.
That's it. Molly, I'd love for you to tell us your relationship to
I'd love
this.
to tell you about it.
Molly, you're feeling so you seem so loose and relaxed today. I love it. I love it for you. It's the holiday season.
It is.
It's the holaday
season of giving.
Also, wait, doesn't Hanukkah start this week? Or is it
It
next week?
does on Thursday.
Thursday, right? Yeah.
Tis upon us. Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of clay. Okay, my relationship to this musical. I was pretty sure that I had not ever seen it. I had nothing sparked in my mind when you talked about it, when I first started watching it, whatever. However, the long black fingernail that Barnaby Barnacle has triggered something deep in my bowels that told me you saw this as a child and you were frightened of this specific thing. I feel like I had nightmares with this figure with this long black fingernail, but not knowing that there was an origin
no
point
context.
for it.
Yeah.
And at no other point in the movie did something trigger a memory at all.
Wow.
But I really do think that I watched this at some point and just was afraid of the fingernail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Adam called it out while we were watching it. He was like that.
Yeah, I was like, you could cut so many lines of coke with that nail.
The thing that specifically is so creepy about it is that
she is not going to comment on that. Nope.
I just am not a subject matter expert.
It's just, you know what? I would need to do deeper research to comment on that.
I don't want to speak on it, you know.
The thing that really is so much about it is that the rest of his nails are normal.
Yeah,
It's
just
the
the
fact
one.
that it's just the one.
And it's the thumb.
And it's the
It's
thumb.
the thumb.
You would
It's
think
so
that it would
weird
be
how
the
it's all
pointer.
be different.
You would
I
think
want to
it'd be
say
index.
this too. The thumb is like the reason man is man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, let's get into it.
It's opposable. Okay.
Yeah. Famously.
Yes,
But like
absolutely.
you having a nail that long, what are you able to do with
There's
that?
no-
You can't do anything.
Mm.
You can like lift things up that are flat.
So really,
like
if we really delve into the costume design, what we're what it's
Oh,
telling us is
costumes go off in this film.
they try hard. I'm not saying the direction is always
It's-
correct, but
No.
they
I would
are
say it's
working.
there are a lot of costumes. I will say
There-
that.
Oh, one thing
Most
I can't deny
costumes,
is that there are costumes.
Yes.
This is not your local black box production of
No,
Babes
no,
in
no.
Toyland.
This is not. Yeah.
It's not that, but okay.
I told Adam, I was like, yeah, this.
It's very
In
theater for
terms
young
of
audiences.
the
Yeah.
restriction of the space of how much room Toyland seems to take up, it's
Like,
very
truly.
black box performance.
It
Yeah.
feels
But-
like our apartment is bigger than Toyland.
I think probably. No, but what I want to say with the nail is that as you're saying, you know, what makes us man is the opposable thumbs. It's telling us that Barnaby has in some ways given up his humanity, right? It's undercutting.
God, we are brilliant.
Yeah.
This is why people are time coding our opinions constantly.
Nick,
Yeah.
stamp it.
Nick, stamp it.
You know, the fingernail has a lot of
Absolutely.
layers.
Because that's true.
I truly can't believe that you've seen this movie. That is so funny. Or at least a part of it.
Yeah. What channel was it on? I don't even know.
Some trauma lives in my body that tells me that I've seen this movie, but again, I have no intellectual memory for watching this.
That is
Because I'm
so
trying to think, like, are there other spooky guys with long nail singular in other forms? Like,
I think that maybe Hades
giving
in
men long nails is like a very classic, quick.
yeah. What was the David
gay
Bowie
code
scary.
them and then they're evil. Yeah.
Gay
What was
men are
the-
evil.
What was the David Bowie movie where he played like
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
This is very labyrinthian.
It is.
Yeah.
Hades in Hercules doesn't have long nails technically, but he has like long fingers.
long
Yes.
fingers.
I think of him as having long nails. Hold on. David.
Scar.
But I really think I remembered the singular thumb
Singular
thing.
thumb.
The fact that it's just the thumb.
I think like what's his name? The crazy king from this is so specific. From Lord of the Rings Return of the King, who like ends up setting himself on fire. I
He
think
definitely
he has,
has long nails.
long dirty nails.
Dirty nails, and then he's got like this
Dirty.
stringy, greasy hair. Because it's like,
Ooh,
and I've
greasy.
overgrown all of
Yes.
my. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he is begloved in Labyrinth. It looks like.
Ah,
So yeah,
begloved.
I don't think that's a word, but there should be a word.
Begloved again.
And gloved, beloved,
Beloved. Beloved.
beloved, beloved is definitely it. That's what it is.
RJ, do you have any connection to this, or you just watched it?
Unfortunately, no. The only one I have was that I also watched the 1961 Annette Funicello romp, which, like, comparing it to that, I think
So different.
so different. And it's obviously made in that like Disney style where they were just making a bunch of live action films, like with like very thin plots, but it's like, it's pretty and colorful in like one soundstage.
Yeah, it seems like
It's-
Disney is still doing that to some extent.
Oh. They're just doing that with bigger budgets.
They're just the budgets just got bigger, but the plots are still paper thin.
Yeah, but my big takeaway from that was like obviously how charming Annette Funicello is and how talented she was.
Molly, have you ever seen an Annette ever? Anything?
I think so. You referenced her one time on another episode, and then like couldn't believe that I didn't know who she was.
She's great. We got rid of our records, but we had one of her.
She was like she's a very like what is it, alto, right? Like a so alto.
Yeah,
But like obviously like
but she's like 14. So she has
14.
no actual like vocal technique in any way.
Yeah.
What's the song that right now on TikTok everyone is like discovering that it's a 14-year-old who sang it instead of like an old one? It's like a Christmas song with like a deep raspy.
Is it Peggy Lee?
Oh, it's Peggy. It's
Rockin' Around
the Christmas
Tree.
tree.
Yes.
She was 14
Yeah.
when
She
she
was 14
recorded
when
it,
she sang it.
which is incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Icon.
Right? Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing, RJ.
You're welcome.
I'm going to tell you about the original piece that this is based on. Babes in Toyland, 1903. Composer name is Victor Herbert. I'm just going to quickly tell you what the plot is, because really it doesn't matter how it went. It doesn't matter how good it was or whatever. We just want to know where we started to where this movie ended up. You know what I'm saying?
What's the
hero's journey?
Yeah, it's hero's journey.
83 years later, this was the product from this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Orphans Alan and Jane are the wards of the... We love a ward. Bring back wards,
Bring back wards, absolutely.
Are the wards of their wicked...
This is our Oh, this was an award, but American Paris was also
they might get the award for best wards. No,
was she a ward? I thought she just lived with, like... I guess I was assuming that her whole family was living with his house, not necessarily that she was his ward. Because that would be another level of messed up.
Right.
The young girl. Please.
What was our last like traditional ward?
The one I always think of as a ward is I think Cecily in Importance of Being Earnest.
Oh, yeah.
But there's another one that
I feel like there is another one, right?
Should I Google famous wards?
Where he like
famed wards.
Like what marries her when she's of age. What is
wow.
Hot Mikado.
With the Mikado, yes.
Also, a series of unfortunate events, like one of the plots.
Technically,
yeah. Is that just another term? Is that the old-fashioned term for foster care?
I think so. I think it's a foster child. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, bring back calling foster care wards, because I think it sounds cooler.
Okay.
Orphans Alan and Jane are the wards of their wicked Uncle Barnaby.
Oh no.
Who wants to steal their inheritance. Now, when we did this, we did very classic, like, man ties girl up to the train tracks energy. Like capelet, black capelet, top hat, mustache, the whole thing. And we had I think the guy who played him, I don't remember what his name was. I think it was Josh or something.
Was he going
he was
for
a
Jim
senior.
Carrey?
No, he was just like 6'5", and like really slender. So he just looks the type. He arranges with two sailors, Gonzorgo and Rodrigo, for them to be shipwrecked and lost at sea. But they are rescued by gypsies and returned to Contrary Mary's garden.
You could just start saying Romani instead of apologizing every time you have to say that word.
I'm just reading the text.
Okay, well, text isn't always right.
Contrary Mary, the eldest daughter of the widow Piper, believing her beloved Alan is dead.
There's a lot of names on
has run away with her brother Tom rather than not Garmin.
Not Garmin, not MapQuest.
Not MapQuest.
Okay.
Tom.
Yeah.
Rather than agree to marry Barnaby. After a second attempt on their lives, Alan and Jane are abandoned in the forest of no return.
The forest of no return.
Stupid. In the spider's den, which spider's den is capitalized.
Okay.
They are protected by the Moth Queen, also capitalized.
Proper noun. Okay.
Proper noun.
Old Mother Hubbard's shoe is threatened with foreclosure by Barnaby. This is just also in addition to
this is also
happening. I mean, it's an operetta. Yeah, these are just.
I love that foreclosure is a part of the plot of the original Babes in Toyland.
Yeah.
It's been
I mean
a
that
thing.
very seriously.
It's a real thing that people have to go through. And
yeah. It was part of the Dolly Parton Christmas on the Square. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's a
classic.
It's a classic
Christmas movie.
Christmas trope of like losing
foreclosure,
like losing
White Christmas. He's going to lose the inn, right?
Wait.
Wow, yeah.
This is our thesis.
They were leaving St. Louis in Meet Me in St. Louis. They were losing the
classic
home.
Christmas story. They couldn't find a room. There was no room in the inn.
I feel like it's about being without a home. That is the Christmas story. Because also in It's a Wonderful Life, isn't it? Like, he's having general financial problems. I don't think they ever talk about the house specifically, but I feel like the house would probably he's going to be financially ruined. So it's like implied to be part of the package.
Yeah.
The Santa Claus. The Claus is about losing his house.
I was trying Jingle Jangle. Was there anything like that in the house? Not really.
I feel it was a store, right? Because
the bank was going to take the store back.
The bank's going to take the store. Oh my God.
Wow, this is a Christmas. Is it only because it's everything starts from A Christmas Carol, and that's Bob Cratchit's story is like they're poor and they're going to get their house taken or something?
Their house is not going to get taken.
They're just poor.
They're just poor.
They just are poor.
They're just the Pope.
There's not a conflict around that. It's just that Scrooge underpays him. Yeah.
I'm glad we solved that in 1860 or whatever. I'm glad
It's
everybody
good
gets paid
that
fairly
Dickens, Dickens taught us about inequality and we all
Dickens
listened
did
and
the
really
damn
just
thing.
restructured society. Yeah.
Yeah.
now. So impressive. One man really changed the world. I'm on paragraph 2. Alan and Jane arrive in Toyland, where they find Contrary Mary and Tom Tom and seek protection from the master toy maker, an evil genius who plots with Barnaby to create toys that kill and maim. The demonically possessed dolls turn on the toy maker, killing him, and Barnaby uses the information to have Alan sentenced to death. Contrary Mary agrees to marry Barnaby in exchange for Alan's pardon, but after he marries her, Barnaby denounces Alan again. Barnaby dies after drinking a wine glass filled with poison meant for Alan. Tom Tom reveals that an old law of Toyland permitting marriage between a widow and a condemned man on condition that he supports her may save Alan from the gallows. Alan is now free to marry Contrary Mary.
I love that there was a law specifically for that circuit. This has come up enough that they needed to pass a law to address this kind of situation.
And I love how government works. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I love the government and just everything it does.
I think it says a lot about women who are left alone and turn to any kind of man because they need support.
Yes.
Even if they're
support.
convicted felons.
What does it say about those women?
I just think it says something. And I think that's for other people to glean.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
But we're not doing this version, so we won't.
I'm not getting into that.
Yeah. Okay, great. I want to point out the similarities between this plot and Hamlet, though, as well. The transporting on a ship by two buffoons who then are dispensed with, and the drinking the poison meant for somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
too.
Yeah.
we see some influences.
Yeah.
Yeah. Molly's very familiar with those two characters.
With
from
Rosencrantz and
Hamlet.
Guildenstern.
Absolutely.
Because I directed Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. It was a great time.
So that's the plot of the original 1903 version. I don't think our school, hold on, let me go back to the Wikipedia page because there was a...
And you did that? You
No, ours wasn't.
I was like, but this...
I mean, it would be wild if we did. It says there's a 1970s version from the Light Opera of Manhattan. So that's probably what we did. More sentimental than the original. Blah, blah, blah. There are parents who are always putting work and discipline before fun are too busy for them. So they run away from home. The children believe that Toyland, a magic place, blah, blah, blah. Take care of their hardships. When they arrive, the kindly toy maker welcomes them with open arms. He warns them not to become too caught up in the fantasy, but soon the toys of Toyland draw them with their singing and dancing. But we didn't have parents, so we didn't do this version either.
And wouldn't also, I assume maybe it wasn't the 90s, it was early 2000s, but I feel like a 1970s version wouldn't have been in the public domain.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe they just, since it's public domain, maybe somebody just edited some of the darker parts
to make it
more school friendly.
But it is funny because we did Babes in Toyland, and then the next year we did Pirates. So we were saving money. We
also know as theater people that like things that sound crazy written down depends on like how broadly you play them, right? So like condemning someone to death is like, that sounds really bad, just like in the abstract, but you can like play it up in a way where nobody's actually thinking about it too hard or concerned or anything.
Right.
Yeah. So
this version, Babes in Toyland, screenplay is by Paul Zindel. It is directed by Clive Donner on Blitzen. It stars Drew Barrymore as Lisa, the titular babe. Richard Mulligan plays Barnaby. He was famous for being a part of the cast of what is that show that spun off of Golden Girls? Empty Nest. Eileen Brennan, who you may know as Mrs. Peacock from the movie Clue. She plays Mother Hubbard, iconically, I would say. Mm-hmm. Keanu Reeves, who is who's very attractive in this movie.
He's so cute.
Plays Jack Nimble. Mm-hmm. Jill Sholin plays Mary Contrary. Apparently she was in a bunch of like in the 80s and 90s. She was in a bunch of like like horror movies, like low rate horror movies. So she's considered one of the great scream queens.
Okay.
Googie Gress, a person named Googie Gress plays Georgie Porgy, and Pat Morita from Karate Kid plays the toy maker. I do like that casting choice, actually.
Paul Sindel did MAME.
He directed MAME? Oh, the
He did
screenplay.
the screenplay for me.
Gotcha.
That was when we last saw Paul.
Our last run-in with Paul.
With Paul.
The theme music composer is Leslie Bricus.
Brighouse.
The executive producers are Bill Finnegan, Patricia Finnegan, and Sheldon Pinchuk. It is produced by Tony Ford and Neil T. Maffeo. I never know what the difference is between executive producer and producer. I know it's something, but
I think executive producer is just the money.
And the producers are like
the producers are like actually like getting it done.
It's like the opposite of what you think it should be. Because I feel like executive producer should be like, I am the executive. I make the decisions. But it's like not that. Yeah.
It's just like pure money.
They're just like the
financiers. Yeah.
The production location, Munich, Germany.
The fact that they went all the way to Munich to film this.
To film a made-for-TV film.
Used a single field in Munich to be Toyland is
like one outdoor
set. They built one shoe.
Yeah.
And a bowling ball.
Girl, why?
I guess they spent all their money getting everyone to Munich and then they didn't have enough money to actually have multiple locations.
It's just wild because like even when we watched Charlie and Willy Wonka, it was like, oh, like picturesque. Like, you know, like this.
Do you know what would be amazing if they filmed the whole movie in Munich and they spent so much money making it look like Cincinnati?
Well, I do think
Adam thought that.
I think they shot the snow scenes in Germany. I only think that because they were definitely driving on snow. That was not Snope or whatever. That wasn't like
Snope?
Yeah, it's like the stuff.
Like
it's
the
like
fake snow.
Fake snow. It's like soap.
I don't know this word. Oh, okay.
Well. Go to a theme park sometime during Christmas.
I'd love to.
Oh, you know she want. Yeah, I would love to go.
But no, it was definitely real snow because the cars were like sliding, and I was like, oh, okay, that was not interesting.
They probably were like stunt drivers pretending to slide. Like, they probably weren't intentionally capturing people actually sliding on the road. That seems like a very dangerous thing to do for your film.
I was like, I think that's just the quality on Tubi. I don't know.
Production location,
the
Munich,
whole
Germany.
Screen's just shaking, so it looks like the
Cinematographer Arthur Ibbotson, editor David Saxon. Okay, I'm skipping the running time conversation for just a moment.
Okay.
Production companies: Orion Television, the Finnegan Pinchuk Company, and Bavaria Atelier GmbH.
Sure.
Bavaria. It was originally released on NBC on December 19th, 1986.
Okay.
The original running time for that December 19th, 1986, without commercials, I need to stress that what I'm about to tell you is without commercials, was 145 minutes.
I'm not shocked by that, but only because I looked up the runtime of it, but when I was going to first watch it and realized I didn't have time. I was going to watch it on Saturday, but I had somewhere I had to be. And I was like, well, I guess I can't watch a 2-hour and 25-minute movie before I have to go. So then I moved it back to Sunday, and then I pulled it up, and it was a good hour and 30, and I was very confused about why that had happened.
We had the same conversation because we were like, we're going to watch it right before we record.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Google is saying 2 hours and 24 minutes.
But on Miss Tubi,
she's
94 minutes.
Yeah, it was 94. So I was like,
and look, thank you to Tubi. Thank you to Tubi for giving us 94 minutes.
More free entertainment, honestly.
Thank
more
you,
things should be
Mood.
free. Thank you, Tubi.
I will tell you what happened. This movie, only time it was ever in its full version was that original broadcast.
Well,
and then in Germany, they released it. They released a shortened version for their TV or like on television in Germany, and they dubbed it, blah, blah, blah. And they made this 94-minute version. And then that is the version, that is the cut that they released for home video. So the 145-minute version has never been seen again. But luckily for you, we are here today. And I have links to the full 2.5-hour version. The only thing I'm going to play when we're talking about the movie, in case we get to it, is there are 5 songs that were cut. Oh my God. If you were like, it feels like Lisa should have a wishing song. Well, don't worry. She did.
Okay.
And I actually might start, you know what? I'm going to start there because,
does it slap?
We're about an hour and a half in. So for us, where the movie ended, they had an hour left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And her wishing song is about
to start. I wouldn't say really it's a wishing song. It's more of like a where am I moment.
Okay.
Okay.
This song is called, let me find it. It is called I Live in Two Worlds. And Drew Barrymore famed Drew Barrymore,
Yeah.
famous for E.T. at this point, and I believe has just started drinking.
Great.
So keep that in mind.
Yep.
I would not consider her one of our classic musical theater girlies, but with this song, maybe you'll change your mind. Okay. So
I have it in mind.
let's take a listen.
Here I am in a world of fantasy, thinking back to a world I plan to see again someday. But when, who can say? I guess when I get rich, when I work out which world is which.
That's her singing?
No.
Yeah,
I
it
was about to
seems
say, I
to
was
me
like,
that we have
wait,
no way of knowing
that
if she's
is-
a musical theater girly from that
Because
because
that
there
was-
was no information about how she sings based on that clip.
No.
Yes, because based on that clip, a 33-year-old woman maybe
Yeah.
sang that song.
Yeah.
And she only got maybe 2 times to listen to it through before she had to try to lip sync it as well because she was not confident in those words, Mama.
No.
She doesn't know the words.
I could not.
She asked to keep the mask on.
Her voice
like to
sounded
keep it
a
on,
little
please.
weird
I'd like to
when she
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Adam, for dealing with the two of us.
No, you're fine. When she sings Cincinnati, I was like, that
That's-
doesn't really sound like Drew, but I was like, it's fine. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine. She's probably dubbed with just some other girl or whatever. Who is that? Who's singing? Who is this woman? Who is it? And woman.
Woman. When I think of the world that I live in,
It's giving a bit of the you think it all? Girl.
Yes. So that's
Vibrato.
that's just the
Wow.
beginning. I'm gonna be honest.
so funny.
The Wikipedia page for this movie is scant.
Mm-hmm.
The IMDb trivia is barely there.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to talk about because I think maybe 12 people watched this.
If you
its
wanted to
opening night.
become just the world expert in something extremely niche,
Oh, this is your chance.
This is the movie to do
you
it.
could be the one person who knows the most about Babes in Toyland with very little effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine the long form YouTube, like the 2-hour YouTube video of just going
Imagine
through every
getting
single-
famous and then you go on Drew Barrymore's talk show and then you ask her about Babes
Like-
in Toyland.
Drew, I need to know everything there is to know about Babes in Toyland.
I can imagine
my
Ross
first question
Matthews
would
doing that.
be
Yeah.
my first question would be
Who was the
you're
one?
11 years old. How big was your crush on Keanu Reeves?
Oh my God.
Could you
I would not be
I had a crush on
believable.
him and I'm 31 and I
Yeah.
was like 11
Yeah, I would be
Dead.
dead.
Okay, let's begin the conversation.
NBC Television.
I will start.
Okay.
Yes.
I was glad we watched the hour and a half version
I think
because I already felt like this was like slow.
Yeah.
So imagine a 2.5 hour version with
Right.
5 songs and multiple scenes.
It
There's
fe-
a full date scene between like Barnaby and Mother Hubbard. That's just like gone.
Oh.
Wait,
It's in there. 'Cause
Barnaby
they-
and Mother Hubbard?
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Not the judge character? Okay.
No
they
Barnaby.
do play around with that and then nothing happens. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because because Mary is like, look what Barnaby tried to. Oh, Lisa was like, look at what Barnaby got you, Mother Hubbard. Like,
Yes.
Okay. So I
It
will
comes
say,
after that. Yeah.
going off of the idea that there were like scenes that were cut that like explain some of the little plot lines, that I think that one of the reasons that the movie was slow is that it was very not clear where it was going.
Yeah.
So it's possible, I'm not saying 2.5 hours is the answer to anything, but it's possible a smarter cut that let us in a little bit more on what the central dramatic question is
Sure.
could have made the experience drag less as, the
what we got.
viewer.
Yeah.
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 Sure. Yeah.
It's a little light on cause and effect, I would say, this movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, everything just turns into a sinkhole into this day.
And it's a little light on,
wherever you went.
it's a little light on wide shots as well because again,
yeah. Again,
the lot
They had
was like
one
Those-
field.
1 acre.
They just,
Yeah.
they rented.
I mean,
1
I will
acre.
say they lampshade it because, like, immediately when Lisa encounters the wedding, and then she's like, "Well, why don't they just run away?" And then Georgie is like, "Well, we're just surrounded by these dangerous woods, so it's just this town. That's all there is. Can't go anywhere
Yeah.
else.
This is it.
Just
Yeah.
a little old town. That's the only place that exists here. So
the little old town that never has nighttime. It's always daylight.
that genuinely sounds like a nightmare. I
Yes,
couldn't believe
yes.
how little that played into things and was said so
it was
casually.
just a long day. The day just never ended. So
I
like,
mean, what
no
is
one
a
went to
day in a
sleep.
universe that doesn't have nighttime?
Night. What is a day?
Yeah, what is
in a
it like
world
for
without
Alaskans?
night?
We'll never know.
Us-
We
We'll
are
never
not-
go there.
We'll never
never
go.
go.
I'm not going.
I'm not interested, honestly.
We're not going on tour.
tour up to northern
our
Alaska.
First live
First
show.
live show.
What are my general thoughts about this? I
What
really
are your
don't have
general
much to
thoughts?
say about this film.
Yeah.
I do think it is going to be a quick episode, just to get everybody ready for the holiday season. Got a lot
Yeah.
to do.
Got to make some toys.
Got to make some toys.
Adam was one of the two toy makers, like elves assistants
Elves
or
with-
whatever they were called.
Full like beards and hair, like
And it was like
An elf with a full beard.
It was like an elf
I feel like
gnome.
elves are not usually. Yeah, that's
It
more
felt
of a gnome look.
shaped, didn't it?
it was gnome energy with an elf hat. I don't know. There was just we were throwing a lot at the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you
I mean, what there were costumes.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you that much.
And I'll tell you,
you know
that.
what there you know what
You
there
know
was.
what there was.
There was a synergy. Okay.
Oh.
Between
Oh, yes.
the costumes and the makeup department. And they were like,
Ooh.
we're gonna go in.
Yeah.
Okay, this is important media that we are creating.
Yeah.
People will talk about this in 2023.
And they were right.
will and they will listen. Who knew? I really don't have anything to say. I think this is absolutely it's not even like worth having conversation about, to be quite honest, but here we are doing
But
it.
it's fun. It's for the
It's
holiday
fun.
spirit.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
maybe the most mid film we've ever watched, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is not bad enough to inspire.
I don't even know if mid was the right word. It just felt
Yeah.
like a ship that passed in the night. Like if there was
It
nothing.
feels like media. Okay, when TV was made to never be seen again.
Yeah.
Like it was like
Absolutely.
we're making this,
We're making this and
we're
it'll be a TV
we're
movie.
broadcasting it, and then it's
then
never going to be
Chris.
released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're never going to
That's
watch this
true.
again.
Yeah, I feel really sure that by next year's Showies, I won't give this movie any awards because I will not remember it.
I will not remember.
See, I think it's going to get the award for scariest fucking characters because there are everybody's nomination could come from this movie. and
Well,
they'd all be
okay,
different
yes,
characters.
I'm waiting to talk about some of that right now. I mean, I do think it could be a bisexual couple nominee with
Oh.
Keanu and is it Jill? Was the name of
Jill.
the actress? Who, Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, what an attractive pair that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And throw Googie in there. He looked great too.
Adam loved his little hat.
I loved his little hat.
You know, we all have
Georgie's little
different
hat.
types.
We
and
all
that's
have
what's
different types.
gorgeous about
That's
this world is that we all have
Yes, that's
our own
gorgeous.
thing.
I got my Georgie Porgy right
Georgie
here.
Porgy.
When Eileen Brennan goes,
Oh,
there's
it's
the
just
little fatty.
Oh, it's just a little fatty. I was
Oh,
like,
the 80s.
God.
The 80s.
Molly, what did you think of this
yeah,
film?
general takes, general
I
sweets.
think I just said it. It's very mid. I went into it expecting it to be bad.
Sure.
And then I watched it and I was like, oh, it's not bad. But I don't care about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good.
No.
No. I don't know. I might quibble with you that it's not bad. I might
I was
say
okay. I expected it to be like, we're screaming about how terrible it is bad. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like a
right, yes.
Cinderella type
Sure.
of experience. Or maybe
Yeah.
even a Christmas on the Square, but who could ever hope for something like that to happen again in our lifetime?
I know.
It was not, there was nothing that was like, oh, this is the moment where it becomes camp. That's the problem. It was not
Yeah.
camp.
yeah.
I think if they
Munich
took-
just has a real hard time with camp.
No, you can't. You can't.
No.
You simply can't.
Do they have a history?
Adam.
Wait, I need to put an ice cube in this wine because it's hot.
Oh my God.
RJ, tell us what you thought.
There were so many moments that if I was just like, let's just clip this specific moment,
Yeah.
it would have been camp, I think.
Mm.
But because there was so much air in between those crazy
Air.
moments, like
Yeah.
the idea that all of like pure evil was in this like decanter that he released into the prison cell so that he could transform Mary Contrary into a troll to make his troll wife. And that the other two, like his troll lackeys. And their way to stop this from happening, the way to stop the evil transformation was to sing Cincinnati. Like that could be really campy, but because there were so many just like space in between kind of some of those zany moments that I was like, if they cut like half an hour from this movie, I think it would have been more fun.
Some of the charm of Babes in Toyland too, the idea of it, I think, is like it's all the nursery rhyme character. It's not fairy tale.
It's all
nursery rhyme characters.
It's who's who of
right. But like, if you don't have them do any of the things you know they do,
it's
like
just
you can't just throw Humpty Dumpty on a wall and then like show him in a shot and be like, "Well, we did it.
He's on there.
Okay, are you happy?"
This is, and I will say, I feel like this is a big issue with media now of like the love of references and just putting in references so that everyone can go, "Oh, that's a reference," and I get it. But there's not like any thought of like, "But why is there a reference there?"
Right.
I think too that part of it is the like that they were really trying to embrace the childlike wonderment and stuff. So like I think a good example of this is the Cars, that they have these like little.
Adam loved the Cars.
They're like little.
I'll tell you right now, the Cars are my MVP of this movie.
Okay. So they're not go-karts, like they don't go fast or anything, but they're like child proportioned cars, convertibles, right? And it's the kind of thing that as a 7-year-old is like your absolute dream. Like you want that so bad, right?
31.
Okay, well, maybe Adam had a different experience than I did with the Cars. But because I was going to say, the thing about it, though, is like if you're watching and you're not quite as swept up in the whimsy of the Cars, it's like every scene where they go somewhere, then there has to be like a fairly long shot of them getting there in the Cars because they're like really
it's
like
playing
soaking
house
in the
almost.
Cars.
It's like the playing house of we all have to go now to this next spot.
But like an adult, I'm like, let's just cut to them being there. You know what I mean? Like I don't need so much time with the Cars. And so it was like
Drew
the
Barrymore
whimsy
drive, like
the whimsy was like not high enough on the actual thing that they were executing on for me to like justify the time spent on just like, and then look at them in the Cars.
But it's also so funny because it's not the Cars, the back of the Cars is just open. So you see like the lawnmower engine when they're like driving away. Like they don't do a good enough job to be like, oh, they're just little cars. Like they're go-karts with a shell, which of course we know they are. But like, it's funny to be like, you went through all this trouble of finding all of goose costumes and raccoons and an owl and bears.
I think they made those. I don't think they found.
Well, I don't know what they have in Germany. I'll be honest. That Germany does feel like a place where they're like, oh, welcome to our store where we just have
Mother Goose characters.
Mother Goose
fair.
costumes.
This is also the West Germany at the time, so let's keep that in mind in terms of the context of.
Well, it's just like the Bavarian energy of being like, we're celebrating our traditions.
Fairy tales, folk tales.
We love timber builds.
I'm going to do that with a mascot head. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that to say, I thought it was very funny that they were like, but we won't really cover up the engine. It's fine. Nobody cares.
For TV.
It's for TV.
And no one will ever see it again.
They are watching this
and
in
no
a
one's
tiny
going to watch this ever again.
Yeah.
But guess what?
Guess what, Mimi? We did. Yeah.
I think we did it.
Okay, should we, if we don't have anything else to say about the plot, because I certainly don't, let's talk about my autonomophobia or whatever it's called.
It's now canon in Showgays that we always have to keep an eye out for these. Because honestly, you never know when it comes
but it's also
up.
my actual life and my actual emotions. So, okay, I don't love the mascot costume. Like, we go right into Toyland and it's like
that was the first flag that I noticed.
Frogs and like whatever. And it doesn't hit me that hard. Like obviously there are mascots for like sporting events, whatever.
Sure.
Like it's not something that I like live
but it's
with
kind
anxiety
of crazy
about.
Though to be like the mascots are the citizens of this town. Like they are. It's not like there's a person inside. They are the mascots come to.
Well, it's more like they
don't talk.
But they do kind of, they don't talk, but they make sounds. It's very interesting, but their mouths don't move.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, their mouths are closed.
Well, the thing that's really a lot about these is the black eyes.
Yeah.
That's
and that
really
becomes a theme.
What
the drawing, the painting of the eyes.
I was thinking also the black fingernail, like the black piece of the body, the soul being marred.
It's like the absence. It's the absence of like alive cells.
The mark of Cain, perhaps.
The nipples-
I'm not
the
sure.
nipples with the
Yeah.
eyes of the face.
The nipples with the eyes of the face.
God, your mothers are like, what the hell?
They're
are
trying to
they
wrap
talking
Christmas
about?
presents right now.
We
Oh
just,
my God.
what is going?
Oh, I ate a huge edible before I watched this. I'm just kidding.
Famously, that's what determines the strength of an edible. It's just the size of it.
It was the toy soldiers though. That was the hardest for
Okay.
you.
Yes.
Okay,
So we
okay.
need to.
We need to build
Hold
this
on.
Back up.
Yes, we can't just spring the soldiers. And
Molly, are you sweating?
I need to work up to the soldiers. Okay.
I know it's a legitimate fear, but it's very amusing for us and for the listeners.
It's mostly funny because how the fuck does this keep coming up in these movies?
That is a genuine question that came up for me. Of like, how does it keep coming? Like, what is it about musical theater and these automatons? Like, why? What are we accomplishing? Why is it so real in the canon? Okay, okay, the mascots weren't great, but I was like, I can get beyond it. And again, like, I wish that they were a little more whimsical because I wish that I could sink into the childlike whimsy of the movie, and I'm just like, it's not transporting me there.
Yeah.
In the final scene, when the toy maker is talking to her about believing, and she went over and opened those cabinets,
This is when RJ was pooping, by the way. He was not in the room.
I took a bio break. I was like,
I wish that I had been out of the room pooping, honestly, because the way that my stomach just dropped when those cabinet doors opened and I realized what was going to happen. And here's the thing that really got me about it.
Oh no.
Is there had to have been people in those costumes to be the toy soldiers. Yeah. And thinking about the claustrophobia of being the person inside of this thing that where you like can't bend your elbows or your knees and the head is entirely covered. And like, so it became actually like not about the automaton.
Automatons.
It became a restriction and claustrophobia thing for me.
Wow.
And I had trouble engaging with the last scene because it's just like so, it's bad. I don't know. I don't have any words for
When
it.
they first revealed it, when he was like, and these are my prized possessions or whatever.
In the first scene.
In that first scene where we
When
just
she's
toy
like,
maker.
what's in the cabinet? And he was like, slay.
Yeah.
Did you have
And
a feeling?
I
Did
thought,
you know?
No, I thought nothing of it. I was like, classic Nutcracker. Christmas always has these kind of things around. It was not a Chekhov's toy soldier for me.
It absolutely was for
It should have been, but
when she opened that closet door, I was like, they're the ones that are going to move at the end of this movie, and I hope Molly's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You should have sent me a text, honestly. I would have appreciated it in that moment. I mean, I don't know what time
We
you
watched it after
but...
you. We just watched it
Yeah, we
earlier.
just watched it before this
Oh,
recording.
today?
so-
Okay, yeah, then I guess you couldn't have. But
Hey, Molly, just a heads up.
There are toy
in
soldiers.
Babes in Toyland, there are going to be toy soldiers that come to life. So I just wanted to give you a heads up.
I need a trigger warning for
Human-sized.
future movies.
CW, content warning.
Human-sized. To me, the mascots, my biggest one was truly Trolog.
Oh,
The
my God.
the like prophetic minion owned by Barnaby, who is like a 4-foot like demonic chicken with one eye.
That's a TV.
That's a TV. The eye is so big that it reminds me very much. Is it Hamlet or is it Macbeth of the like? Well, it reminds me of the Hades. It's the Three Fates with the
The
one
Three
eye.
Fates and Hercules.
Three
Yeah,
Fates
so
and
not
Hercules.
Shakespeare
Yes.
at all. You're talking about
No.
Disney's
I'm
Hercules.
thinking-
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of though?
You're
in
thinking
Shakespeare?
of the
In
Macbeth's
Tragedy of
three
Macbeth.
witches.
Yes, yeah.
But-
I'm
They
combining them.
have
They're like
normal numbers of
it's
eyes.
yes. I'm thinking of that.
They're
yes.
just women, RJ.
They're
just women. God.
Yes, the three.
Those hags with the eyes.
So here's what's interesting
Yeah.
though about Trolog is that Adam said earlier, like he's surprised I didn't bring it up in the summary and such. I guess that one didn't really hit me. And I think it might be that it's designed to be creepy. So for me,
Yeah,
I think the fear
sure.
comes
You
from
were
the
like-
thing that is like it's
It's
not
supposed to be.
or designed in a creepy way, but I am
that's
finding
not
it
true
creepy.
because the subway surfers.
That's true. I'm sure that
At
the
the
intention was
Wiz.
to scare. Yes. Yeah. That's okay. That's fair. Those are just so
But that's
scary
the
that
only
you
other
couldn't get
one.
around
Yeah,
it.
the
But in
pantyhose is
general,
not supposed to be
pantyhose is
scary.
not supposed to be scary. Like the toy soldiers, like looking at them. This is probably also why I wasn't triggered by it when they first opened the cabinet. Like cute. There's like absolutely nothing
Yeah.
that is
look like
surface
toys.
level aesthetically creepy
Right.
about them. It's about how they move that it creeps me out. Patrolog was like, he's trying to creep me out. So then I was like,
It's
I-
classified, so your brain is like, okay, that's
Yes.
supposed to be creepy.
I only
Yes.
felt this once when I looked at the toy soldiers, and it was when Drew Barrymore opens the cabinets to like reveal them and like set them on their mission, and she's doing her whole I believe thing. There's a shot of them all like waiting to come to life, but they didn't use a shot where it's like a photo, like they didn't use a still. So it's like just people in costumes trying to be still, but they're all soldier. They all look the same. So it's very clear when they're moving.
Yeah.
So there's just like one who's like shifting a little bit. And I was like, ooh, don't do that. Don't do that. But then once they come to life, I was like, it's fine.
It's the like thing in a store that you're afraid, like it's the mannequins thing where it's like, did my mind play a trick on me
Xanadu.
and see a mannequin move? No, that's a real person in there.
at least there weren't jewel tones because I still don't
Oh, yeah,
understand
I
why,
think
but
that-
jewel tones makes
yeah.
it worse for me. And so these were vibrant colors, and I
Vibrant
appreciated
red.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're just not a winter.
I'm not. I don't think I've never done a color analysis, but I just don't. I don't feel like I'm a winter.
We should do a color.
We have to do it when we go to Seoul. I want to do it with your mother. Sorry. So is that it? Anything else about being scared of creatures?
The trolls
I
are
didn't
very
like-
scary.
I actually-
didn't like the trolls.
I didn't like the trolls. I didn't like when they were in the forest and the trolls were like there and they had like shining
Yeah.
like flashlights for eyes.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. There's just like this
I
thing.
didn't like Zach and Pack or whatever the fuck their names were.
Oh, Zach and Mac.
Zach and Mac. No,
With those
thank you.
the little henchmen.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I liked them.
But why were they
Well,
like
one was clearly supposed to
mutated,
be like
deformed? Like why?
based on like Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And the other one is I'm almost
Like a
positive
Igor?
Rocky Horror's
Mm-hmm.
what's his name? The one with the hair.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I don't know
The
his name, but
brother.
I know who you're talking
Yes,
about.
the,
Yeah.
brother. Yeah.
the creator.
Definitely
Yeah.
look like those are the two inspirations for those two characters, which is fine. I want to know, we need to like, not us, but someone needs to do a deep dive analysis of like what was going on in the 80s, because like this was such a trend for these children's movies to have the scariest possible
grotesque
imagery in the world. Like
Labyrinth, yeah.
has it. There's the Wizard of Oz like sequel that comes out in the 80s that's also apparently really scary. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is really scary. Fucking what is his name? Judge Doom in Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit's really scary.
Oh man, that one is
There is so much of like the movie itself is like not scary at all, but then like one or two things are just like the scariest thing you've ever possibly seen.
But you know what's funny is like I remember some of these things scaring me, but I also don't remember ever like not wanting to watch a movie because it was too scary either. Right? It was like I didn't like that part, but it wasn't like, oh, this is too much for me to handle either.
Yeah, I was scared of more movies than I think you were.
Okay.
Like I still don't like to watch horror movies, but
I'll watch some horror movies. So maybe we just have slightly different. But like I don't know. Like, do you remember as a kid ever watching a movie and then saying like that was too scary, I will not be watching that again? That was a kid's movie.
not about a kid.
No, I think I'm the same because I remember being really scared of Casper as a child because it was like ghosts, like the other three ghosts. I was like terrified of all the pranks that they were doing.
The
but like,
uncles? What are these, uncles? I
yeah,
think?
yeah, the three ones.
Yeah.
But like, Casper is a sleigh of a children's movie. Like,
Casper's
it's so good.
such a good children's movie.
Yeah. So, or even like, I even felt this way for Mulan. Like, I remember being terrified of Shang. Like, truly, that was a scary villain. But I was like, I'm still
he
gonna
like killed people.
He killed, he murdered people. So, but I, was like, I watched that movie all the time.
I don't think I was ever scared of. Oh, The Horned King. That's another one from the 80s where it's like It's in the Black Cauldron. He's the villain.
But there is something I would
where
say,
he's like so scary, and it's like,
because even like, I mean, even not Xanadu but like it's that weird animation style where it's like kind of hyper realistic. Do you know what I mean? Or like I think of the animated Hobbit. Like that was really scary.
oh,
When I watched that when I was little.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't ever watch that as a kid.
I watched that when I was little. That was scary.
That was very scary.
Yeah, the ring wraiths are very scary. I don't know. I just think there was like
the Hobbits' faces are really scary.
because like also when we were kids is like when we were a little older. We were like 11, I think, probably when, or 10. Oh, maybe we were 9. When the first Harry Potter came out. And so that's like the kind of energy I think of as like children's movies that have scary elements to them. But I don't think
still,
anything
like-
in that was so like
probably
nothing's grotesque. I think
Yeah.
is the thing.
What's his name? Fluffy? That was probably the most scary part of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because we
and
had
that's
a
not
dog.
really. Yeah, it's
I
mean, because it's all
I think the troll
about.
is what I was scared of the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still to this day, like the thing that freaks me out is like a scary image. Like if something looks too off, too creepy, like that's what will stay with me. But you can like allude to very creepy things and I'm fine with it. It's the seeing something that I will remember and like imagine in the corner of my room later that night. Like
Yeah,
that.
Are you affected by what's it called when it's like the uncanny valley? Are you
Valley.
super affected by that?
I'm more affected than other people. Like I like Polar Express, and I know some people like that is too uncanny valley for them. They can't do it.
I like parts
Cats.
of Polar Express. Cats.
Cats didn't scare me though. Cats
Just
just
made her
offended
angry.
me.
Yeah. Give her nemesis. Okay, well I think we're done with that conversation.
I just don't think there's anything to talk about in the movie.
I don't think there's anything to talk
You
about.
know?
Let's talk about how cute Keanu Reeves
Yeah,
is.
Keanu Reeves
Oh my
was
God, he's
a
so
true
cute.
He
dreamboat.
is so cute in this movie.
He is so cute.
Let's watch. You know what we didn't really get was Keanu Reeves singing, but that's because we didn't watch the full version.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, there's more.
This is so exciting.
More.
The outside looking in.
On the inside, looking out.
Either way, it's fair to say that the feeling's not in doubt.
No,
It's the feeling of
falling from a great height. It's the feeling of flying.
It's the feeling of staring at a great white light. There's no denying.
It's the feeling of such intensity. It could knock down 10 city walls.
It excites.
The songs are so bad in this movie.
I mean, they are bad, but again, I'm watching this being like, oh yeah, there should have been a lover song between them, like something to build up that relationship.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad, but like it was definitely missing. Also, was that him singing?
That I don't know.
Sound like it.
was
The only one I
good
saw
if it
that
was.
definitely
Yeah.
wasn't was Drew Barrymore. That's
It
the only
sounded
one I
very-
saw.
Because it kind of sounded like it had a little bit of an accent. So I was like,
I'm gonna play you.
it enthralls, it enchants.
I'm gonna play. Let me find.
Are we gonna play any song from the movie we watched?
We just did.
No, from the cut
Oh,
that
from
we
the cut
watched.
that we watched. No,
Okay, this might be a first.
I will probably play Cincinnati because
It's. We have some Ohio listeners, I'm sure, that
I'm
would appreciate.
sure we have an Ohio.
Oh my God,
listener,
right in
too.
if you live in Ohio
or if you lived. Adam,
or if you've
Dr. Adam.
been to
yes,
Ohio.
Dr. That's true.
Wait,
Dr.
who's
Adam,
Dr. Adam?
one of our listeners.
One of our listeners.
Oh.
Dr. Adam, I think is from Cincinnati, isn't he?
Oh yes,
Wow.
he is.
He is.
Well, we're gonna play this for you, Dr. Adam.
yes, yeah.
But first, we're gonna play Toyland from the original operetta Babes in Toyland. It's a real toe tapper.
I'm really enjoying this. it's very funny because it's like a song you expect to be like joyful, happy, quick tempo or whatever. But there's something about listening to that with headphones on that's like flossing the inside of my brain. Like it's very, very nice to hear you're hitting those notes.
Yeah, but it's like a full actual like opera singer singing opera music, as opposed to like a musical theater girly doing like Toyland.
Musical theater girlies are gonna be so upset with you.
I think they already are.
I think they already are.
Fair enough.
So that's where we started, and this movie is where we ended up. I would like to play for you now.
Yes.
Cincinnati. At 1T. I truly didn't know how to spell this town, apparently, till this movie.
I mean, what is even the language of origin of Cincinnati?
Can you use it in a sentence?
Can you use it in a sentence? So they sing this song when they're on their way to fall off a ravine or whatever. Basically is what happens. They get in a car accident. They're in a Jeep. Drew Barrymore's sitting on a sled. Let me explain how convoluted this set has to be for this.
I was trying to figure
sense.
out how detailed I needed to be in the summary for this. So I'm glad you're explaining it now.
So they get in the car. There's a blizzard a coming.
There's a blizzard coming in
to Cincinnati.
Eve.
Christmas Eve. Blizzard a coming. They get in a Jeep and one of the classic like no top Jeeps. So it's just the like
plastic,
whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's that. That's important to remember, and it's also a little bit open in the back.
Yes, Lisa is sitting on a sled that she got.
Lisa is sitting on a sled that she got from the Five and Dime. Okay. He like breaks because a tree or pole or something has fallen. I think it was a tree has fallen in their path. So he breaks and swerves to avoid it. She falls out of the back of the Jeep
and sleds
down a hill into a tree, which I think killed Sonny Bono. But for her, it just caused her to dream about Toyland. This is the song that they are singing on their way to that moment in the plot.
Come from C-I-N-C-I-N-N-A-T-I, Cincinnati, the best town in Ohio, USA.
At first they called it Cincy, but since Cincy is so natty,
Because Cincy is so natty.
Hey, now the girls are pretty in this gritty little city.
The fellas are the feistiest I've seen.
And when it comes to ball teams, the Reds and the Bengals Maltese.
They knock the socks off all teams on the green.
I mean, true argues indefensible. The facts are common sensible. Cincy is
Cincy's one nearly natty.
She's Ohio's Maserati.
She's Ohio's Maserati.
I mean, true argues indefensible.
This is her sledding down, listeners. And then a bolt of flashing light.
I mean, first of all, Keanu Reeves should have been driving slower. We can all say it's absolutely his fault.
Yeah.
You shouldn't let teenage boys drive you around.
We shouldn't be turning the wheel like this when we're
absolutely
driving
not.
in snow.
I will say that a big point in the favor of this song is that it is a song about how great a city is that is not New York. And so I just have a natural
That's true.
desire to enjoy any song about somebody being proud of a place that they're from that is not New York City. So I love that. That we love. And I did actually like how it like kept coming up in the plot where people were like, I will visit you in Cincinnati. Like, I don't know. That was kind of fun and delightful.
In your planet of Cincinnati.
Exactly.
Cinsawatsky.
Lisa Cinsawatsky.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nobody pulled the excruciatingly long joke that they did in Pete's Dragon about not knowing how to say the name of the town. So
Cincinnati, Cincinnati, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tired just thinking about it. Lastly, I did also want to say with the hitting the tree on the sled, it made me think of Ethan Frome. I feel like though I read this is a book that I read in high school that I like don't think about a lot, but like I will
Squeaky
reference.
Fromme?
And I think that I somehow my high school is the only high school where we read this book. It's an Edith Wharton novel, and basically this guy has this like very ailing wife, and then his like cousin or her cousin comes to like live with them I'll take care of her. And then he falls in love with this younger woman. And then they're very sad. And then they decide to commit suicide by sledding down a hill and running into a tree intentionally. But then it doesn't work. And then they become,
Yeah, of course it doesn't
both
work.
of them.
But
I think both of them become invalids. And then it's like everybody's an invalid at the end of the novel is what happens.
Ugh.
I think we read it because.
So what's the moral? It's really unclear.
Be thankful for your health.
Just don't cheat on your wife. I think is one good one. I remember a
With her
discussion
sister or whatever.
I remember a discussion in class where we were, because I don't remember the name of the wife, but the wife's like Zelda or something. And then Maddie, I remember, is the name of the young woman that he falls in love with.
Sure.
And we were like discussing whether or not it was like immoral to like, they don't have like a physical affair, but they're having like an emotional affair basically. And so we were like talking about whether or not this was immoral or not. And people were like very on the side of like, it's fine because like his wife is like functionally not a person basically. And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like this is a room of a bunch of young Maddies. So you all think it's fine, but like you're all gonna be Zeldas one day and you're gonna take back those words. So that was one moral that I took away from it. And then I don't know. We talked a lot about just like the landscape and how like bleak it was and stuff. And it's a lot of like winter landscapes with not much, very minimalist. You know, it was more about the ambiance than it was the actual plot. But anyway, I think we read it because I went to an all-girls high school. So we read a lot of literature written by women, which was like a big plus of going to an all-girls school.
Is there a lot of literature written by women? Not just Austen? Jane Austen?
Dickinson.
You've heard of her? The Bronte sisters.
That's two.
Mary Shelley.
Huh?
I love that this has become like Adam named as many female authors.
Barbara just wrote a memoir.
So there you go. Barbara Streisand. add her to the grades.
I think when I think of great female writers, I think of Jane Austen, Barbara Streisand.
I feel like I'm doing like Socratic silence right now.
Like
I'm eliciting learning from you by
Kill a
simply
Mockingbird.
not answering.
What's her name? Harper Lee. Barbara Streisand. You know who also wrote an autobiography? Vanna White.
Yes.
Great female authors. What's the difference between a novel and a novella?
You're so stupid, Adam. I hate you so
Length.
Just length. Is there a certain amount or just feels?
Like 125 pages, I think, is like the general area where we got to consider which one it's going to be labeled.
Okay.
It's not like the epic tomes that Adam has been reading recently. So
Have you been reading some tomes? We can't say on the internet.
They are online only. They are online.
I see the kind of tomes we're talking about. Gotcha.
Online publications.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of self-produced work.
Yes.
I think it's important for art.
Yeah. Supporting small artists or independent artists. That's what I want.
Artists.
Well, they may be small. You don't know the size. You don't know how tall they are.
I
You know
know.
how tall they are.
I did feel bad for the small. I'm assuming a small person was playing the troll log.
Yeah.
When he had to be chased around and shoved into a
Just
chest.
like just attacking Drew Barrymore with its beak.
I can't believe this movie was what it was.
Yeah. Let's pick something that's really good for Christmas next year. Should we do that? Should we give ourselves a little treat?
1961.
Okay, great.
Well, girlies, I have no information about critical reception.
Critical reception? Oh no.
I'm gonna blow your mind and reveal that there is no information about anyone giving a review of this 1986 made-for-TV
Perhaps
movie.
no one even watched it in 1986. Maybe truly no one has ever seen the 2.5 hour
I will say I was
version.
surprised that the Wikipedia page didn't even have like the Nielsen ratings of what it did.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, it'll probably be there. Because that would be what I would use instead of the budget or how much it made or whatever. But she wasn't there. I don't know. But on Letterboxd, people have watched this and people have left reviews.
Thank God.
And it's important to know what the people think. So, Zara, with 2 alien emojis, left 1.5 stars and said,
What if Zara is an alien and they've just been reviewing the things that humans have been
maybe they're
sending?
trying to figure out human society.
Yeah.
Through Babes in Toyland.
It's
through our
so
films.
Babes in Toyland. I relate to Drew Barrymore's character in this film because I too would sing a random song, my voice being dubbed by a 30-year-old, and then decide to go into a forest that could kill me, risking my own life to save Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Wow. Who could blame her?
Well, single white femaleian. What's happening? I did not do this on purpose. Gave 2.5 stars and said, was this produced by the Cincinnati Tourism Board?
There is
A lengthy discussion on the Cincinnati Reds.
it's like just the song and then some references to it would feel organic.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
like every time they brought it up, they would like bring up something specific about Cincinnati.
So
Like, do you know
specific.
when you're there, you should really enjoy a night at the museum
Yeah.
of this. But like it did. There were times where I was like, this is weird. How
Have
hard
you
this
had
is.
Have you had Chili Mac? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Let me tell you about
Skyline
a
Chili
baseball
serves the
star,
best
whatever.
chili
yeah.
mac.
Yeah.
No, Pete Ross.
Pete Ross,
Is that what his
yeah.
name was?
It could
Yes,
be
this
truly
is-
anyone. I don't know.
Sounds right. And Barbora gave it 1 star and said, must a movie be good? Is it not enough that Keanu Reeves looks like that?
He really looks incredible.
He's so cute in this movie.
Yeah.
He's such like a little dreamboat.
It's so dreamy.
And I think this is like 3 years before
Yeah,
Bill
it
and
was
Ted?
before Bill and Ted. So he was
Yeah.
like picking up.
He's 22 when he
I'm
made
so
this
glad
movie.
it was everyone's takeaway from this movie because I had told somebody that I was going to watch this. And then when they asked me how it was, I was like, well, Keanu Reeves was cute. Like that was my number one takeaway.
yes.
And I just love that is a universal experience of watching this
And
movie.
I'm going to say Keanu Reeves plays a kind of like a himbo. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He really
He was a
nailed it.
little too smiley. And I was like,
That's
nothing
it.
going on upstairs.
Not a lot going on upstairs.
No.
That's the way we
That's
like
how we
it.
like
It's
them.
like we like our men, honey.
Yeah.
I'm going to go first for MVP. And I am going to say Eileen Brennan because I laughed at her jokes. Because she has such a specific delivery
comedy
style.
Yeah, totally.
There is one part where she drops her list and she like tells. I think it's just
Lisa.
Eileen Brennan telling Drew Barrymore to pick. I don't
that
think
up.
it's Mother
character.
Hubbard telling Lisa. I think it's
Yeah.
the actress telling the actress to pick it up. And it was so funny. I laughed so hard. The fact
Yeah.
that they kept that in the. I mean, this is a very one take movie. This feels like they were like,
Yeah.
we got to wrap it up. We have 2 weeks to shoot
On a
this whole
timeline.
2.5 hour film.
If we leave these sets on this field for too long, the grass is going to die and then the park board will never let us hear the end of it. Yeah.
I also think that like if I was to go back and watch parts of the extended version or the full version, I would go back and watch the scenes with Eileen Brennan just because I want to see
Gotcha.
like what she was getting up to.
So you're
when-
not going to say the cars though. That's what you told us you were going to do.
I know, but I really wanted to give it to a person.
Fair enough.
So, but I loved the cars and I want to drive that pink car to work every day
Yeah.
down Lakeshore Drive.
A Barbie moment. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Molly.
I'm going to give it to the cars. No, just kidding. I'm going to give it to Richard Mulligan, who's the villain of
Barnaby.
the piece.
Yes.
I just
Very
really
committed performance.
very committed performance. As much as the fingernail freaked me out, he
Yeah.
was definitely the most magnetic performer in the movie. It felt like he really had kind of like committed to the character and was like such a pure villain in a love to hate. Everything is just the long code and it's the skulking and it was very good. And so yeah, I think that a lot of the energy, there wasn't a ton of energy overall, but a lot of the energy that was in the film was coming from him. So I'm going to give it to Richard Mulligan.
Also, like, not to belabor this fact, but this movie starts with him basically like hitting on his like 17-year-old
Yeah.
employee. Ew.
Very gross.
And her whole thing is like not like you're a monster for doing this. She's like,
You're smutty.
yeah. I mean, she was upset with him, but it felt like it was like,
Cut it out.
yeah, enough's enough. Not like you're a groomer.
What do you expect from 1986?
It's true. What do I expect?
Yeah.
Nothing. RJ?
I'll give it to Pat Morita, who plays the toy maker.
Mm-hmm.
He does kind of give, I mean, it's a nice little like sage performance.
Yeah.
That feels very grounding in amidst all the chaos that's going on in Toyland.
In a midst. What a good phrase.
Amidst, thank you.
Ooh.
And also like big slave for him to collect all of the evil in the world in one like
Yeah.
decanter.
Look, you got to be a little unhinged if you're going to be that good of a character. You know what I mean? Like you
Yes.
got to balance it with a little. Willy Wonka went like really far in the chaos zone,
Right.
but like Toymaker is just like he's doing
Toymaker's
good
like-
things, but like he does have a vial of
I
pure
definitely
evil,
think
you know?
if like I was
Yeah.
collecting basically like a flask
Yes, that's what
of
they call it.
evil,
I would put it
I
somewhere
would
else.
probably not put it in like my pantry. I would maybe put it in a safety deposit box. I would maybe buy a safe.
I think it's a
just-
purloined letter situation though, where it's like no one would expect it to just be right here, you know?
Yes,
So maybe
you
it's
don't-
safer then.
Yeah.
I also like why can his eyeball see everything? Is it just we're just using the Wizard of Oz crystal ball
Yeah. He's just got
reference
something.
imagery, I guess. I didn't like when it blinked, when Trolloc
Yeah.
blinked.
Yeah.
I did
I don't like eyes that are too big.
when the toy maker was painting the black eyes on the doll, there was a moment where I was like,
yeah.
is the doll all of a sudden then gonna blink and like say thank you? That I was like,
Oh,
ooh,
no.
that's what I got.
Molly
Oh,
would
the
have-
moment that it comes to life, absolutely not.
Because
No.
they do these like close-up shots, and I'm like, okay, if it stays long enough, if it's like 2 seconds longer, then I think it's gonna tease that it's about to move because everything else is moving.
I mean, it is really funny that the
freaking-
end of this movie is like verbatim the end of The Wizard of Oz.
It's so similar to the Wizard of Oz.
It's-
in a way that is
But like in a
Yeah.
way that like someone summarizing a pitch was like, and then I went into a magical world that had a lot of the Mother Goose characters and our favorite nursery rhymes. Like she was reciting the pitch of the movie.
Yeah,
they
her
didn't get
lines-
around to writing real lines. Yeah.
Yeah, her lines weren't great. I would definitely not give the MVP to the
To Paul, I'm
screenplay
sorry,
writer.
Paul.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was just really funny because she comes to and she's surrounded by them. She was like, the only thing she didn't say was like, and you were there, and you were there,
Yes.
like, but everything else is basically insinuated in that scene.
Yeah.
It's also weird because I think the thing about the Wizard of Oz is that the characters kind of they're similar
Yes.
to their Wizard of Oz counterparts, their Ozian counterparts.
Yeah, I didn't really get that
not-
from like Mary, because like Mary, the sister in real life is more like, you know, she did stand up for herself, I guess.
Well, I think it's more of their circumstances are similar than their personalities.
Right.
Because like Mary getting hit on by the boss and then Jack being like the guy that she maybe
Yeah.
wants to actually date. And then like that's kind of the love situation. And then like Mother Hubbard is
Has a
her
list.
mom.
I was writing a list.
She is a
She's
mother
writing a list,
in both
yeah.
circumstances. In the broadest senses, I guess Georgie is similar. Georgie is funny because he's like, we don't know basically anything about real human George. And then he's like Lisa's companion for like most of he's like
know.
arguably the second biggest character in the movie. We haven't talked about him at all.
Yes.
They're like best friends.
He's like he's the Samwise Gamgee of this movie essentially.
Yes.
And I don't know anything about the real life George and why he would be such a big part of her hallucination and like whether or not he is the
Is
corollary in
actually-
any way.
No, but
Yeah.
also like because Georgie Porgy, so it's Georgie Porgy Pudding and Pie kissed the girls and made them cry when the boys came out to play. Georgie
Yeah.
Porgy ran away, which also doesn't tell me really anything. What is it about? What's it about? It's weird that they were like, oh, his thing is he eats because the first line is Georgie Porgy Pudding and Pie, but like,
there's no action there.
it doesn't say he eats the pie.
He's just holding them.
It really pie is only there in order
he
to
puts
serve.
the pudding into the pie. It's that he has such a food addiction that he has a pie. And
He's making
pie.
a turducken.
He's scooping pudding into the pie.
He's making a French silk.
He's making
He's
the
making a French
mousse.
silk.
Yeah,
the only
into
good
the-
pie.
I love
A Perkins French silk.
Oh, Perkins. Gosh darn it. I bet there aren't any Perkins here. I gotta
I
look it
can
up.
guarantee they are not. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's fine. Go watch it. Why not? I
No.
don't recommend it, but like
Please
I
do
would
not,
know.
Golden Woman.
you could fast forward through it. Luckily, it is on YouTube, so you could watch it 2 times speed if you really wanted to.
That's true.
Damn, we should have done that and not Fubo, Tubi. Because we had ads.
There are so many Christmas movies that exist. There's truly no reason to engage with this one.
Yeah.
Watch Christmas on the Square.
Watch
Christmas
Christmas on the
Square.
Square again.
Watch
Again.
Single All the Way. I just watched that for the first time last night, 2 days ago. I don't
Watch
remember.
Last
This
Holiday.
weekend.
Classic.
Yes.
Molly, what's your closer?
I classically didn't write it down ahead of time because I couldn't think of one, but I came up with one during the episode because it's a more organic way of doing it.
That's
and it's
definitely someone's
better.
doing Showgays bingo, and they cross that off as soon as you say that. 'cause
Molly didn't write a
You
closure
never
ahead of time.
know.
Yeah.
You really never know.
My closer is pitch a Christmas musical where a piece of property is being foreclosed on, but your pitch has to be for it's an unusual piece of property, and that drives the plot.
That drives the plot of the Christmas movie.
I do have one as well. Look
Okay,
at me.
good, good.
I'm prepared. I prepare on the fly.
Doesn't have to be a musical, just a Christmas movie.
No, it should be a musical, but you don't need to like get into every song or whatever. But so my pitch is it's a horse stable. We're doing a cowboy
Cowboy Christmas.
a cowboy Christmas.
There's definitely a song called Cowboy
Yeah,
Christmas.
There's
absolutely.
100%. That's
Adam
it's-
listened to a lot of cowboy music.
I think
this
probably the first act closer is Cowboy Christmas.
Yeah.
And, you know, a hardworking, humble Oklahoman.
Oklahoman.
Oklahomos.
Family from Oklahoma is going to lose their stable, and so they have to put on a Christmas pageant. Wait, it's coming to me as I'm talking. A Christmas pageant using the real animals at the ranch.
as
In the
pageant.
stable,
Yes.
baby Jesus. There's a foal
Yes.
that's being baby Jesus,
There's the room at
and
the end. Yes.
Isn't it that the
That
church is going to
saves-
close in Christmas on the Square?
No, the town. She's kicking everyone out
the
of the
whole town.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
she's
town
selling
is
the entire
closing.
town. So
That's
yeah,
right.
the church, yes, included.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Cowboy Christmas is even the name of mine. A Cowboy Christmas. There's a stable being foreclosed on.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a spin at I'll flip the script on the Christmas on the Square story where it's like they're closing a town to build a mall.
Yeah.
And
They're closing a mall to build a town?
It's a mall that's closing because malls are dying.
Yes.
And so all of the little stores in the mall throw a Christmas pageant.
Yeah.
To save the mall because everyone knows, holiday shopping is the one it'll be the biggest holiday shopping spree that'll
Yeah.
save the mall.
Capitalism will save us all.
for
Do
a
you think-
whole year.
Our children will watch movies where a plot is we're closing it to build a mall, and they're going to be like, "What is
What's
that?
a mall? What is that?
Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense."
Yeah. They're gonna be so confused when they watch Christmas on the Square. What are they
Yeah.
gonna do?
I mean, look, I love the holiday shopping and there's so much you can do. And like basically
Yes.
it's unlimited what the aesthetic choices can be because you can just be like, this store decorated all out for Christmas.
Yeah.
I do think you're going to have an uphill battle with the plucky coming together to save it. But I guess if we
Yes.
can like frame it
If
like
it was-
every store in this mall is owned by a small business owner.
Maybe it's like a family center type
Yeah.
mall at a small town.
Yeah.
Because in the Philippines, malls are still very big. The malls are not going away. So I feel like there's something there. Also, I really like Jingle All the Way when I was little, the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to find the toy for his kid.
Yeah.
So there's something fun about like having to find the right toy or finding the right gift.
Yeah.
That
RJ's never learned.
that I've never learned because I am a bad gift giver.
Aw.
Yeah.
Just not a skill he has. It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so I have 2 ideas. One is an update to Miracle on 34th Street, but they're actually closing the original Macy's.
Whoa. And then it's like Santa has to save Macy's.
Macy's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because there'll be a
And-
parade next year without
And
it.
it starts the day after the parade.
Great.
What is the thing that I texted you about the thing they said this year in the parade? Hold on. I need to make sure that all of our listeners are aware that this was said.
And that's my fun option. That's my
I
fun
texted
movie.
on Thanksgiving Day, I texted RJ and Adam, one of the performers at the Macy's parade just called the Jolly Green Giant a baddie green daddy. Gay rights have gone too far. Because if we lost that, America's soul would crumble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The parade or the Jolly Green Giant?
Both.
The parade that allows moments like that to happen.
Yes,
You know
absolutely,
what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I saw a lot of Twitter discourse about just deflated.
There was
floats.
discourse on Twitter.
I just thought it was a lot of deflated energy in this year's
I think there
parade.
was something about a tree in Central Park that was like poking holes in a lot of the floats this year or something.
Wow,
Yeah.
solidarity for that tree.
Poking holes, like us talking about this movie. Poking holes in this plot. Okay, so that's my fun one.
I like it.
And I do like the fact that it would be a modern telling of Miracle on 34th Street. And I want the because the thing that people forget about Miracle on 34th Street is that it is a legal movie.
I don't forget that.
it's
That's
a
why I love
courtroom
it.
film.
It's a courtroom
It is a
so
courtroom
good.
drama, and I
It's
love
a
that.
Christmas courtroom
What is it?
movie. 12 Angry Men.
12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
How many people on a jury?
So it's 12 Angry Men. It's Atticus Finch.
It's Kill a Mockingbird.
Kill a Mockingbird.
My brother's favorite line in all of Christmas movies is, "Your Honor, the state of New York concedes the existence of Santa Claus."
It's so good.
Yeah.
So it's that. Alternatively, if we want to go in a very dramatic direction, it is the closing of the last. It's the foreclosure of the last grocery store in a food desert.
Wow.
Oh, no, Jesus Christ.
And it's very, it's very current. It's very, we're putting it out there to get people engaged in activism.
Yes.
And it has a lot to say. I don't know what it's saying or how it doesn't get closed, but that's for the screenwriter to figure out. That's not for me. I'm just the pitch guy.
A cookie baking contest, I think, would be the Christmassy thing.
Their bakery department finds a way to actually make the first ever good fruitcake.
Oh. Or they've been making a good fruitcake for 65 years and nobody knows about it.
And no one knows about it. And so they're entering
Emily in Paris type.
They're going to enter
girl.
the Pillsbury National Christmas Bakery Competition.
And we have to call it Pillsbury because Pillsbury won't let us.
Pillsbury.
Yeah, it's in
Exactly.
copyright, yeah.
And the winner
Great
will
British
receive
Baking Show.
And they represent towns. They represent towns. So if they win, the town gets I don't know.
And she comes up with something
grocery.
that's like "she fruitcakes" as a hashtag, and that inspires everyone to become a feminist, and then it's a viral sensation.
Yes, and it has to engage in social media.
And it
has
stars
has to be
Camila
social
It
Cabello.
has to be social media.
Yes.
You need the
It's Camila Cabello,
the-
and then also you find out how quickly that she is an angel.
yes, absolutely.
And Dolly's in it.
And Dolly's in it.
Dolly's in it. Yeah.
yeah.
Because she
This
actually
really is a spiritual successor to Christmas on the Screen.
Yes.
But
Because
then you find that out gradually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
And there's a
Dolly
cameo from Christine Baranski's character. As
Dolly-
one of the judges on the panel.
Dolly kills the owner of the grocery store and then goes, phase 1 complete.
Yeah.
So the town learns the story.
No, it's that angel who got her wings.
Yeah, she was cute.
yeah.
It's her, but Dolly also comes to be like, you can't kill people. You can only seriously maim or injure them.
For the lesson.
Well, that's not something that Dolly has lived by, so I don't think she has any standing to say
Nobody
something like
died
that. The car accident, the mom in the
the mom.
past.
in the past. She didn't cause
but
that.
Dolly
though.
Dolly implies that
Dolly
she caused
implies
it.
that it's I mean, it's a repeating pattern.
There's too many cars. That's the real
Too many cars in
crime.
this town. That's what Christine Baranski was trying to solve by
urbanism.
turning it into a mall.
Transportation.
It's true. Yeah, how many people get hit by cars in malls? Very few. Except for
Wait.
the little go-kart.
Wait,
cars that they got into
it's
it.
here it is. It's the foreclosure of the Polar Express.
No.
And so they have to save it by building
hot chocolate.
by building a high-speed rail instead.
It's about infrastructure, and then
It's about
Pete Buttigieg
infrastructure.
comes in at the
Buttigieg
end.
gays. The Pete Buttigieg gays are
Pete
back.
Buttigieg comes in. He's got both of his twins strapped onto his chest. And
Saving
he
saving
saves
infrastructure.
the railway.
Yes.
He is the FDR at the end of Annie.
Nick, timestamp it.
Nick.
Nick, we referenced Annie. Do you think we can listen to any of our non-Annie?
I think it's
don't
just
think so.
the Annie episodes.
I do not think so.
Wow.
That's amazing.
We were so worried that we had overdone it with the 3 Annies in a row, but we know that there's one person who's
There's one person
eternally
who's
grateful to us.
always grateful.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's worth it, baby.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
Nick.
Somebody's
It's worth it.
hyperfixation has been served so well.
Yes, absolutely.
His name is Nick.
Jolly
Saint Nick?
old.
Jolly old saint.
And a Merry Christmas to
And a
all.
Merry Christmas
And
to
to
all.
all.
And to all a
good night. Bye.
CINC, put the Cincy in the natty. And
And the girls are real pretty and the boys are all
feisty. Yeah.
Good Lord. Thank you for listening to the best revival of a podcast, Showgays. You can find us on social media. Adam is at Adam Noecker on Twitter. RJ is at RJ Food Rocks on Instagram. And Molly is at Molly Matiny on Instagram. This episode was edited and mixed by Adam Noecker. This has been an Ampliverse production. You can find our show page and more information at theampliverse.com. If you'd like to send us your own takes on the movie we just watched, reach out to us via email and we might read it aloud on the show. Our email is showgaysmoviemusical@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your podcasts. And as always, rate, review, and subscribe to help others find the show. And now, as always, the show must go on, so stick around to hear what we're going to be watching next episode.
Today, our teacher taught us about a place called Africa. She say our mamas come from Queens over there. That means that we, royalty.
I don't need you to love me.
Afternoon, I needs me a wife.
Even if we have to part, you and me, us have one heart.
I don't need
Get off my land!
you.
I write you every day. Daddy! Nothing but death can keep me from it.
Oh, Miss Celie.
You must ain't got no kinfolk around these parts.
All I had was my sister. She was the only one ever loved me.
I'm gonna hold my head up. I'm gonna put my shoulders back. It's time for you to see the world.
There's gonna be some changes made.
Put it on. This ain't me.
Hush. We need to look like we belong. Let's see this smile and color. Sweet and loving God.
Showing my heart to the folks that are close to you.
Now we're talking.
Hey, hi.
Dear Celie, we are more than just kings and queens. We are at the center of the universe.
Oh, yes, I am.
Discovering voices. Building worlds. The Ampliverse.